Hi, can you all see me from there? I'm kinda short. um, hi everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I'm thrilled to be here and to share a little about my story. My name is Elvira Roquel Samines. I'm from Guatemala and I'm indigenous. Since I was a child, I didn't follow the gender norms that commonly are assigned to women. As an indigenous woman, we have a traditional attire that represents our culture, beautiful and colorful clothing that represents our identity, like the one I'm proudly wearing today. However, when I was younger, I mostly wore jeans because it was more comfortable for running, jumping, kicking, and climbing trees. This led to these disapproving looks from people in my community who believed that women shouldn't wear jeans and that wearing them made me look like a boy. This perception grew even stronger when my dad decided to teach me how to ride a bike. Cycling quickly became my favorite sport, and I would ride my bike every day. But in a conservative community like mine, this was seen almost as an act of defiance. And I can still remember and feel the anger in people's eyes when I was riding my bike. At the time, I couldn't understand why people looked at me that way. I wasn't doing anything wrong, but later I realized that they couldn't stand the idea that I was doing a boys' sport, and even more so, they couldn't accept that my father allowed it. I'm very proud that I didn't let those comments and looks affect me, and I'm even more grateful that my parents didn't pay attention to them either. For my parents, education has been always a priority, and I remember that they had long conversations with my siblings and me about how important education was for our future, and I took those words to heart. When I was in sixth grade, my mom heard about Maya. She's the first partner. Maya is an organization that helps indigenous women to continue middle school. One day after school, I was talking with my mom, and she asked me a very simple question. Would you like to study in Panajachel? Panajachel is a town 30 minutes from where I live, and that idea sounded exciting for me. Um, my first thought was Panajachel. I'd never traveled alone to school before, and that felt like something that I wanted to do. I remember that my next thought was freedom. I was a teenager, and that idea felt like, yes, let's do it. And I remember smiling and answering yes. That yes, spoken from a teenager's desire to feel rebellious, was my butterfly effect. Long story short, I applied for the scholarship and was accepted, but I never imagined how much Maya would change my life. In Maya, I learned a lot of things about myself. They helped me strengthen my skills. I discovered my passions, and they helped me strengthen my identity as indigenous. A few months before graduating from Maya, a professor told me about a scholarship program to study abroad. And in 2023, I took a plane for the first time in my life, and began my college journey at Syracuse University. Today, I have finished 2 years of college. It hasn't been easy, it has been very challenging, but I've never wanted to stop learning, and I didn't want to forget why I left my family and my community. That's why in my first year of college, I joined the She's the First Advisory Council. I've learned a lot of things in the council. I've gained a lot of perspectives about women's struggles around the world, and it has expanded my thinking. I've come to understand that my experience as an indigenous woman from Guatemala is not the same as that of an indigenous woman from the United States, from Peru, from Mexico, Cambodia, or Nigeria. While we are all fighting for gender justice, the history, context, and culture behind our struggles are not the same, and we have to recognize and respect those differences. I believe that the diversity within the council and within She's the First reflects that beautifully and creates a space for us to learn from each other. I'm, all these experiences have shaped who I am today, and, and it hasn't been easy. I have to challenge other people's ideas and sometimes even my own, but I'm still learning, I'm still fighting for myself, for my family, for indigenous people, and for all girls around the world that deserves to be heard, educated, and respected. Thank you.